up and welcome back to my Rocky Balboa series with Rashad G Reviews. We've gone through all the main Rocky films, which means that we're moving on to the Creed series now, all of which I've seen in the past except for the third film, so I'm definitely curious to check that one out. But until then, we're going to be talking about this first film in the Creed trilogy, simply titled Creed. Let's get cracking. Creed stars Michael B. Jordan as Adonis Creed, the illegitimate son of Apollo Creed, one of the biggest names in the Rocky franchise. Wanting to make a name for himself, Adonis requests none other than Rocky Balboa train him to be the best boxer, which gains the attraction of the current heavyweight champion of the world, Pretty Ricky Conlan, who challenges Creed for a battle. You know how it goes. First and foremost, gotta give a huge shout out and thanks to Rashad G Reviews for joining me to discuss the Creed trilogy. We'll be hearing what he has to say about this film in just a hot second. But first, here's my general positives for the film. I personally love how much the film feels like a true continuation of Rocky's story, while also being the perfect origin story for this Adonis Creed character, and how similar yet different their paths are in life. It really is almost a poetic sense of pacing. You don't need to have seen the original Rocky films to understand this movie whatsoever, but if you have, obviously that elevates things quite a bit. The structure of the film is very much like the previous Rocky films, but a little bit different. There's a lot of training going on in this film, since that's literally the plot of the film. Normally, the structure of any given Rocky film is the following. First half, family and character development, while the second half is usually all training and actual fight. Well, what's so unique about Creed is that the training aspect also doubles as the family and character development bit, as in a way Rocky is a bit of a father figure to Creed. The second half of Creed is ultimately when the villain challenges Creed, and then the training doubles down, and we get a little bit of a deeper look into Rocky's health and how, again, in a poetic sense, Rocky has to fight his own battle of swords while Creed fights his. Definitely a lot of symmetry and motion going on in Creed, which I absolutely respect, but I do have some negatives to talk about yet, which I'll get into in a second. But first, let's hear what Rashad had to say about Creed. Take it away.
Hey, yo, Dave, what's the deal? Pickles, is everything kosher? So, bruh, forgive me for the ambiance here, man, but I feel like I've been working 24/7, bro. I got a little bit of downtime, so I call this a to-go review. So here it is, y'all. Creed, my quick thoughts on it, because, Dave, I know you have a lot to say on it. So this is continuing our Rocky series here. So, Creed, yo, shout out to Ryan Coogler. I never thought we'd see Rocky Balboa again in a new film, because Rocky Balboa ended on a good note. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a good send-off to the character, but no, he's back now to look after Apollo Creed's illegitimate son. So the twist that's interesting here is that Creed, who was the antagonist in the first two Rocky films, but ended up becoming Rocky's ally. You know, they were like brothers until Drago killed him. And he was known as a good guy, a patriot, a real American. And come to find out, Apollo Creed was a player. Yeah, so Creed cheated on his wife and got somebody pregnant. And now we have Adonis Creed, who goes by Johnson, and even Rocky is like, wait a minute, nah, Apollo didn't have a, damn, my homie was a player? Damn, Apollo? I didn't know you had it in you, bruh. So, yo, this movie could have easily took a Rocky 5 route, where you have the young boxer who needs to, you know, guidance, and Rocky is the mentor, and, you know, shit goes bad. But nah, this turns kind of into a family story, because Rocky is all alone. Adrian's dead, Paulie's dead, everybody's gone out of his life. His son kind of doesn't want anything to do with him. So he comes across Adonis, who also is in a situation where he has no father. He's kind of on his own, trying to do his own thing and make a name for himself. So they come together and they need each other, you know. So they have a nephew, uncle, father-son type of relationship. And, you know, both of them are hard-headed. Both of them are hotheads in a way. And I just love the mentor role that Rocky plays here without the betrayal that happened in Rocky 5. So shout out to Ryan Coogler for making this happen, because I heard Sly wasn't even going to do this movie because of the death of his son, Sage. Rest in peace. He wasn't going to, you know, I guess he was in a really dark and sunken place. And Ryan Coogler came to him with the idea to do this film. And I don't know exactly what he said to him, but he talked him into it. And now, fast forward, he's up for another Oscar. You know, his first Oscar, I think, since the first Rocky, which I feel he got snubbed because I can't even tell you who the motherfucker he lost to. But anyways, Creed was return to form to the Rocky formula. It really takes from the first one. You know, it's grounded. It doesn't go the superhero cartoon route that 3 and 4 kind of took. This is really a more grounded film in the spirit of the first one. But now it focuses on Adonis Creed, you know what I'm saying? Then it sets up for, of course, future sequels. And Michael B. Jordan is Adonis Creed. I thought he really killed it. You know, he could really pass for Carl Weathers' son. Like, they both have almost the same type of face, you know what I'm saying? And he has the physicality of a boxer, so you believe that he is the son of Apollo Creed. And he holds his own in this movie. You know, this movie doesn't really depend on Rocky to carry it, but it does take place in the Rocky universe, and in a way, he does kind of pass the torch. You know what I mean? So, anyways, not to ramble on and on. I really dug this movie. I saw it when it came out. I'm a big Rocky fan, so it did get my stamp of approval. So yeah, Creed gets an A+ for me. Dug it, and that's it. And that's all until Creed 2. Peace.
Thank you once again to Rashad for joining me in my review for Creed. If you haven't yet, make sure to head over to Rashad's channel. I've left a link to that in my description box below for you to go over, check out, give him a subscription. It seems he and I definitely agree a lot on this film, especially in the way Rocky and Creed have a father/son type of relationship, which is great. And it's miles better than whatever happened in that one Rocky film where he was training Mullet Boy. However, I did mention that I have a few negatives to report for Creed, and thankfully there's really only a couple of light negatives. First one being, in general, it doesn't really beat the Rocky series for me. It doesn't have the flair that I find with the others that immediately makes me think best sports movie out there. It just doesn't. It's awesome to see Sylvester Stallone back in the role. Michael B. Jordan does such a fantastic job in his role as well. But I don't know, there's more of a lack of contrasting themes that you would often see in the previous films. I think what's missing here is an iconic dynamic between a trio of sorts. In the Rocky films, you had Rocky, Adrian, and Paulie. That trio had very different personalities that always was a mixture of funny, heartwarming, and melodramatic things that it's kind of hard to describe. From the unlikely alliance between the sweet and shy Adrian and the brooding dote Rocky to the smart-mouthed, drunk, but loyal Paulie. Creed doesn't have any of that. It doesn't have whatever it needs to have to balance out all of this drama, so the drama feels overdramatic. Also, this has the same problem as some of the latter Rocky films in that the villain is wholly forgettable. I don't know anything about the villain in the third film, but I do know that the villain makes a little bit more sense in the second Creed film, and that's something that I'm looking forward to. From a filmmaking perspective, the film works very well. It's definitely a spectacle. I remember really enjoying it when it first came out, but I haven't seen it since. But I scored Creed an A-letter grade, final overall score of 90%, 90 out of 100 possible stars. One last time, thank you to Rashad for joining me in this review, and cannot wait until we do it again with Creed 2, and until then, peace!